I was born on Christmas. That was like the best gift I've ever received was life. And he goes, no, Carla, a gift. And I'm like, I can't remember anything I was excited about.
So yeah, you are a Grinch. So the Grinch, you know the whole story behind the Grinch? Is he's pissed off at Christmas because he can't remember anything that he's ever got.
I can't remember.
So yes, you are. So I'm glad we answered that question on this podcast. Welcome to Do the Work podcast. I am your host, AZ Araujo, along with
Carla Araujo.
What's today's topic, Carla?
The holiday blues.
The holiday blues. So talk to me, Chief. What's going on?
Well, because, so I asked the kids to give me a list of the things. Well, first and foremost, I want to bring this up. I don't like Christmas.
You don't? Let's tell them why you don't like Christmas.
Okay, so I like Christmas because of the bonding that we have behind it. We have those couple of days off, as a family, we get to eat together and we do this all the time, but it's just special. It's Christmas, baby Jesus, and I love it. It's my birthday, by the way.
Your birthday is December 24th.
I'm a Christmas baby.
So you've always got the short end of the stick, right? Because I think you have a little bit of a hostility towards Christmas because you're competing with Jesus, little Jesus baby.
Maybe. No, but I do. I really do enjoy Christmas. I love Christmas, but I don't love what comes behind it. It's so
gifts,
stressful.
Right? It is.
It is so stressful. And we stopped giving gifts a couple of years back.
It was about 5 years ago. We don't give any gifts.
No.
When I say we don't give any gifts, we don't give any gifts to like parents, like siblings, cousins.
We don't give gifts.
We don't give gifts. The only people we focus on is the kids, our kids, and our nephews or nieces.
And they have to be a certain age.
A certain age. After a while, it's like, dude, you're not getting anything else.
Yeah, it doesn't, So this year I asked the kids, I said, give me a list of the things that you want for Christmas. And
they had a pretty big list.
They had 2 pages.
That's
so
insane.
I go, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to get you a couple of things and that's it kind of deal. And I'm not a Christmas person. So they're like,
no, you do everything on Amazon or online.
And so I ended up packing up a couple of things that I bought on Amazon. And then I'm like, looking at the tree, and it only has like maybe 6 presents, maybe 3. I don't know how many presents on there. It's not that many. And I'm like, this is kind of depressing. Am I a Grinch? Like,
you might be.
I know. And so Rio had he showed me a video of where the husband is like all surprised, and the woman on the other end's like, kind of like anticipation, like waiting for the kid to open that present, and that's kind of me. Like, I'm so excited to see if they like that one gift I got them. And then you act all surprised, like, oh yeah, that's exciting. I'm like, because I'm the one with the stresses all year. I'm the one that
so this is turning between
you so I'm not done.
Having an issue with me.
Right, pretty much. So when he showed me that, I'm like, that's so true in our household. So I'm looking at the presents, and then when they showed up from Amazon, I wrapped them up like at 4 a.m. before the kids woke up.
Yeah.
And I'm putting it on the tree, and then you're fast asleep, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is already stressing me out. I'm only like 2 presents in. So, and the other ones came in. I'm trying to wrap as I can, so they don't catch me. I'm like, but this is why does Christmas have to be about gifts? So I talked to the kids this morning. I'm like, hey, so I kind of want to let you guys girls know, like, you guys are getting pretty old. Like, this is not
They're 10 and 14.
I'm like, this isn't going to happen.
It's time to leave the nest.
Am I a Grinch? Like, why did 3 presents stress me out?
Well,
like, isn't that crazy?
It is. And I think if you really think about it, what we're able to give our children all year round, I think, last year we made a mistake, right? I think I made a mistake. So last year they were disappointed because of the amount of gifts that they got. They only got a couple of them.
Yeah.
And the mistake I made is that I gave everything to them prior to telling them, hey, this is part of your Christmas present. So they got like a brand new iPhone, Max, whatever it was last year. And they got some AirPods. And I'm like, hey, this is for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so they forgot all about that, right? And I think we need to remind them of all the things that we have provided them throughout the year because, they're not going to have the 15, the 10 presents under the tree. They're going to have a couple, but they also have to see, everything that we've done for them. But it's always good for the kids. I mean, and I think that's what why we lowered that stress, because before it was beyond the kids. It was our parents, your parents. It was siblings. It was cousins, and it was just overwhelming.
And stop me if I'm wrong, or like, so I was always like, I take pride in this, I guess. I get excited when I'm like, I don't buy presents. I don't shop for Christmas. I'm just not, a Christmas person. But anyway, some people will kind of be like, that's kind of mean. And so this year, I don't think I've said it. Maybe I said it once or twice, but I try to stay away from it because I'm like, am I a Grinch? Like, I don't
think so.
want to shop. I think it's ridiculous. If I'm going to buy you something, I'm going to buy it in June or in May. I don't need to wait for Christmas to overload myself with like, all this stress of gift giving.
I think a lot of people take on the debt thinking that they have to, they buy into these holidays beyond just spending time with family.
Right.
And they put themselves in a financial bind, going into the new year. So as opposed to starting out the new year fresh and for growth and prosperity, they're like, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in debt because they're trying to cater to, what people think Christmas is all about, buying for cousins and aunts they only see a couple times a year, and it's like, why not just show your time? That would be a greater gift. And I think that's the most important, but for us it's never been, it did stress us out to a point where we were like, something's got to change.
Right.
And we've told this story before, but I remember the last time we stopped participating in giving gifts was one year where we were just exchanging like gift cards
and money.
It was ridiculous. It was an envelope here, an envelope back, a gift card here, a gift card back, and we're like, this is ridiculous now. We're getting away from what the holidays are truly supposed to be about. A lot of appreciation, right? And so we told our family that year, we're like, hey, this is the last year we're doing this.
Right.
And I don't think they believed us because the following year,
we didn't
everybody brought in presents and we didn't bring any.
No.
And we told them, I said, I'll take it. Thank you for this gift, but I didn't bring you anything.
And we started a trend because following, I think the third year, no one brought anything.
No one brought any gifts, and we just focused on spending time together.
Yeah.
And and for us, we've been in a very fortunate place to be able to afford the things that we have, and it's never been a money thing. It's always been, why are we doing this now?
Well, and I told myself that, and that's why I had that conversation with the kids this morning. Like, it's not like we can't get you these things throughout the year, but it's not going to happen all at once because I didn't want to stress myself out this year. So I was just like, I'm not going to do this.
Well, they wanted the new AirPod Pros. I go online, they're sold out. Now I'm like, dang it. And then they wanted some other stuff, and they just know they'll eventually get it.
Right. I just
but
don't
it doesn't
want
have to
them
be, the emphasis on Christmas is
and
always,
I guess that's what I'm saying.
free-for-all.
That's what I'm saying is that I want them to know that, hey, Christmas, we're not going to compile like all these gifts and say, here you are.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to have to earn them. And so we're going to have to work towards things kind of deal. I don't want to give my kids and spoil them with a ton of gifts. That's not what it's about. I want them to know Christmas is more than gifts.
At the same time,
kids are kids and they want, I totally get it.
I have the fondest memories
I
when I was a kid. I remember, I still remember, like, I don't remember many things. Like, my memory sucks.
Right.
But I still remember the blue BMW bike that I got when I was 6 years old. It was and it was just one gift. It was probably like a $25 swap meet type of bicycle, but it meant so much, and I still remember it very vividly. So I do love the reactions, but as they get older and they get spoiled through what's going on throughout the year, at least in our case, they're not as...
Well, I gotta tell you, my coach put a post out there and said, what are you grateful for? I guess, like, what's the best gift you ever received? And I didn't read the post thoroughly, so I answered life. I was born on Christmas. That was like the best gift I've ever received was life. And he goes, no, Carla, a gift. And I'm like, I can't remember anything I was excited about.
So yeah, you are a Grinch. So the Grinch, the whole story behind the Grinch is he's pissed off at Christmas because he can't remember anything that he's ever got.
I can't remember.
So yes, you are. So I'm glad we answered that question here on this podcast.
So hold on. So that's why I wanted to come on here, because I was like, for many years, I'm like, and I look, and then I go outside and I look on the tree and I'm like, am I a Grinch or anybody on my same page here? Is anybody on my same page here? Yeah. So anyway, that's what that's about.
Well, anyway, but we're not talking about the Grinch. You said the holiday blues.
Well, it's the same thing, Grinch. Holiday. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. Holiday blues. Okay, fine. So it did. It took me to my mindset of like being sad. Like maybe I should give my kids, shower them with gifts and so on and so forth. And then it took me to like, am I a Grinch? Or it just it takes you to a different place. It takes you to a sad place. Like, should you spoil them?
Well, speaking of
which,
it
stresses me out because I'm the one that's doing all the shopping and wrapping and trying to go down the Christmas list. And I'm like, this isn't okay. I don't like this. This isn't fun. and it's my birthday. So, and that's kind of like, I always told you that it's my birthday, and somehow I'm always stressing on my birthday. I don't have a birthday. So I celebrate my birthday sometime in the summertime, because I don't have that Christmas, like, let's celebrate my birthday, and I can really care less for my birthday.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal for my birthday.
Birthdays are the same thing.
I can really care less, but when I don't know, I can really, I love to hear the happy birthday, Carla. That's awesome. But actually for celebration, I never celebrated my birthday. I think you were the first one that ever got me a cake when I met you.
I did.
Yeah, I'm like, every year no one remembers my birthday.
I do, yeah.
And so you were the one that ever posted it on, like, social media, like Carla's birthday. And I'm like, oh, look, I have 300 people saying happy birthday. That's so awesome. I've never even had my own family members forgot it was my birthday. What?
Facebook automatically does that, so.
No, I know, but that was before I was, like, embarrassed. Like, I didn't even put a birthday. No, that's untrue, because I remember not even putting a birthday on there.
Okay.
And I remember you saying and so I just remember being more comfortable, being like, oh, it's my birthday. Because I even forget, because I've never even been told that many times, happy birthday.
Well, it's been a hectic 2 weeks here. Today we had another business planning meeting, and we had one yesterday, and it doesn't even feel like it's already Christmas. It doesn't even feel like it's already, you know.
Why do you think I felt so, like, overwhelmed? And then we're doing a donation at the daycare again.
Yes, and then also, the good thing, Abigail did a fundraiser.
And she's leaving this weekend.
She's leaving this weekend on a mission trip over to Mexico. To this orphanage, an orphanage in Mexico. And this is like her 5th time going out there. And she wanted to do something special for these kids. And it was funny. I love the technology and what our kids are able to do. And even us, right, as adults are able to do. We can get involved very quickly and get others involved for a good cause, you know?
Yep.
And I remember she came to me 2 weeks ago and she's like, hey, Dad, like, I want to do something great for these kids. What can I do to earn like $500 so I can send it to them? And, we started looking, and the first thought is always like, I can work for it, right? Like I can do something so somebody pays me. So she was thinking like, okay, I'm going to edit some videos for some people. Maybe they want me to pay me so I can edit. Because she's pretty good with editing, with music, finding the music and putting it together. Everything that she's learned on her own. And then she said, and then she ran into, what's that, the fundraiser site, GoFundMe, right? And then she sees all these videos of people putting up and how they were able to raise much more money. So she said, hey, Dad, how about I create a video and then, help and ask others to help me do what I'm trying to do. And it's funny because she had a small goal of 500 that quickly grew to 1,000, then 1,500, and then 2,000, and now she has close to $3,000 between, and what she did is she created a video. She interviewed the head mission. His name is I forget his name. What, do you know his name?
No.
I forget his name, but he Mr. G.
Mr. G.
She interviewed Mr. G and a couple of people that have participated over the years, and she made this whole video. And now she's going to go back over there with $3,000 to help out this orphanage. It's going to go such a long way, but it was awesome to be able to see how big of a heart she has in order to help out other kids. And these are kids that she's essentially growing up with because she's been there so long. And she's watching them grow, and she's got these friendships, and it's so awesome. And but I think it embedded something great within her. It's like, I can create bigger than what I think alone, Well, and she was able to really get that. And it was inspiring, to say the least. But she recorded the videos, edited, and did everything. So that was awesome.
Yeah. No. I want to get in there a little bit. I remember the conversation we were all having in the kitchen. And it was pretty neat because when she came home with her friend and they had to record this video, they had all the clips of everybody they interviewed. So I decided to stay home and work from home that day because I wanted to see what she had, And they were all over. And this goes to tell you on the confidence behind the camera and really talking real and raw on your feelings versus a script. So they wrote, it's the cutest thing ever. So they took a couple of hours because the editing portion of it was super easy for her. She's done it. You've showed her how I'll do all these. You gave her all the tools on how to do all this. So now when she put the camera in the front of her and her and her friend had to video record while they were doing it, they were reading the script. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm like, do you guys mind if I chime in here and give you guys some advice? And I said, why did you guys even start doing this? And they're like, well, because we love to see the changes and, the happiness and all this that they bring. So I'm like,
True
okay.
emotion, true feelings.
But why did you start this? Like, what was the first? She goes, well, and Abigail goes, well, when I was like in 4th or 5th grade, I would watch high schoolers go there. And I couldn't wait to be like in 7th and 8th and 9th where I was able to contribute more of my time. And then 9th grade, I was able to now become a leader. Almost, and prepare myself for a leader to be a mission, because that's what I want to do after high school and maybe take off for a year to do mission trips. And so she starts talking big, and I'm like, okay, what you just told me needs to go behind camera.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't need to let everybody know that. I'm like, you do, because that's the main reason why you're doing what you're doing. And then when she said, so she talked, you real and raw, that's her.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I was a very proud mom. And so I just love the fact that she went in there real and raw, and that was her in the video.
I think that's a great lesson for all of us, especially, as a small business owner or entrepreneur. There's a big difference between scripted, type of marketing versus just real and raw, right?
So I go behind, and then her friend goes, well, can you give us an example? So I get behind the camera and I sit on the little couch where they're at, and I'm like, giving this whole impromptu thing. And they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, repetition. It's because you can give me one word and I'll make it a whole paragraph. Like if I just was living in the moment, or like just very natural, just because I've been doing it so many times. I've done it so many times. So it was just a great lesson for them, because the fact that they were able to deliver like that, I was like, yes. And being so young, and they had a goal.
They have such great advantages now, growing up in this day and age, and having that authentic approach, I think, is the best way in any business.
Right.
And bringing it to our businesses, I think that's what's really brought us to success. It's just, being real and raw about it. I'm not saying airing out your dirty laundry. What I'm saying is that, there's real emotion, there's real thoughts, there's real feelings.
Right.
And scripts, like anytime I have to record anything with a script, I struggle. Like I'm taking 100 takes.
And again,
I'm trying to perfect it.
I have to tell you this. That could mean completely different for every person. What does being real and raw mean to you? Because when I was telling Abigail, you should say that you've been looking at this since 5th grade, and she goes, well, no, that's too much information. I'm like, no, it's not. So to her, that was like too much information, right? I'm like, no, that's good. So it really means to the individual, because I'm really like, I go out.
Put it all out there.
I put it all out there sometimes, and they're like, how did she say that? I'm like, because that to me is real and raw. It may not be to you, so who are you to judge?
Maybe too much for
you. Maybe too much for you, but not for me, so who are we to judge? So it really depends on the individual and what you want to put out there. But yeah, it's not to give your dirty laundry, but what does that exactly mean to that person?
Speaking of dirty laundry,
what?
We've been getting along pretty good here the last 3 to 4 weeks. Have you noticed that?
Oh, man. So I've had several messages on my Instagram and my Facebook about my vegan diet.
I think we should have had its own show for that.
I know. But I'm just going to really quickly touch up on it, because I've been asked about it. Yes, it has not only changed my personality.
She's like, listen, guys, if your wife is always pissed off and you're doing the right things,
you might want to check her diet.
Check her diet.
Check her diet.
She might be irritable for other reasons. Nothing to do with you. Like for years, I thought it was my fault. But I was like, wait a minute. I'm showing out like a badass. I'm delivering. Why in the hell is she still upset? Had nothing to do with me.
I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday, like, hey, how's that vegetarian diet thing going? I'm like, it has been the best move of my life. Now, I do have to tell you, though, for the first couple of weeks, I was feeling a little weak. Like, I was feeling a little weak.
But you're looking so good right now. You're
because this is what
lean and mean.
Right, because I have to tell you this, and I highly recommend this. The only thing I ever had to leave was a chicken and egg white, so the transition was super easy for me.
Yeah, because you weren't eating meat.
No, and I never
ate
junk food. So you have to be very, very careful when you go vegan. You're going to be super hungry, because if you're a junk eater already and you go vegan, you're not going to have those proteins to fill you up.
There's a lot of unhealthy vegan
Right,
people.
So you're going to start to really go towards the bad vegan food. I've stayed away from that.
You don't eat chips.
I don't eat any of the vegan stuff. So I'm really strict with but I just eat more veggies.
We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this in a deeper sense.
We should. But it's definitely
a
lifestyle.
I love the way there's always everyone always comes in with statistic of, hey, this is good for you, this is not. And I love how you responded, right? Because somebody asked you, what about soy, about how bad that can be for you, right? There, because there's analysis and studies done on this. And I love the way you responded. And you said simply, I don't read on what something is so good for you or so bad for you. I go based on how I feel.
Yeah.
And I feel really good.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best response, because you're always going to find something wrong. I mean, I'm not vegetarian, vegan by any means. But I also know if I eat too much red meat, I know how I feel after those. I know what it does to my body. It slows me down. I'm lethargic. So I only eat it every once in a while. But now I've added more of the greens, more of the vegetables, more of the vegetarian foods so that I can balance that out. And I think that's a good thing for me. But for you, it's like, hey, I can't do any chicken. Right. I can't do any meat whatsoever because of the way I feel.
Right.
Is that your statement?
And we said it. Yeah, it's very true statement. We've said it. I'm not in it because I'm, animal lover while I am, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're doing it for different reasons.
For different reasons, right?
You're pretty selfish on this. You're pretty selfish on this aspect.
I'm on nobody's team. I'm on my own team. Yeah. So according to my journaling and all my what makes me feel is I had to eliminate it just to see what happens to my body, and I totally love the results. I got a message on Instagram the other day, and they were like, very negative Nancy. She was like, good luck with the whole vegan thing because I was about to pass out on my 3rd month. You're going to lose a lot of, all kinds of nutrients or whatever. And I said, well, okay, thank you. That's all I responded. But now that I'm here live, I'm going to say this. If you feel like you're going to pass out on your 3rd or 4th, 5th month going vegan, it's because you're literally not eating all the right things. You're eating all the wrong things. Yeah. So you're filling your body with the wrong fuel. So because I got to tell you, my energy is more than like, oh my gosh, it's incredible. To me, it works. And so I have a lot of people on my side and yet a lot of negative Nancy's out there.
Let me back up here.
You're probably eating like crap already.
So we'll touch base on this, but so Carla's been having a lot of like, what can I say? Is it digestive or just internal gut problems?
Yeah,
right?
I don't have digestive problems. It's just more like my gut problems. I had a lot of gut problems.
So we've told the stories where we had to go to the hospital before. We've gone to urgent care. She's gone to specialists. And it seems like we couldn't really dial it down to what it was exactly. So we just figured, hey, you're just allergic to a lot of different foods. So you took this on as just a test, right? Because you've already omitted the oils, you omitted dairy, you omitted
all kinds of
meats.
Ingredients.
Yeah, and you've lived like that for years, but yet you were still having problems. Right. And it was more the way you felt, right?
Yeah.
And you decided what would happen because the only thing that you latched onto was just egg whites
and chicken. That's it.
But you were eating like
20 ounces a day.
20 ounces a day.
Which is a lot.
A lot, right?
Yeah.
20 to 25 ounces a day of chicken.
Right.
And a bunch of egg whites, and it just, you omitted that, and you've just completely changed. Yeah. And to a point, like we said, like you're nice now. Like you're nice when I get home.
Well, what's crazy,
and it affected your personality.
I was even to eat 20 ounces of chicken and like 6 egg whites in one sitting is a lot. And even after the meal, I was still hungry. Remember I used to tell you? No. What I'm saying in breakfast, to have a 6 eggs just in one breakfast. It's
six
huge.
Egg whites,
It's huge. So 6 egg whites. But I remember telling you after every meal, I'm like, why am I still hungry? It's because I couldn't eat certain carbs and certain fats because they would make me sick. But it was only because I was overloaded with all this bad protein.
The protein.
So what's kind of cool, I do want to throw this out there again. We could do a whole podcast on this. What's neat, a couple of I'm on my 2nd, maybe 3rd month, I think. I don't know how long I'm in it. But anyway, I journaled everything. I was able to bring in a little olive oil into my diet.
Yeah, which we never able to do.
I was never able to do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, makes me feel incredible.
Because I think your body was just it was already redlining, right? So you had all this chicken that it wasn't, your body just couldn't process egg whites and just the different things. So anything above that, like oil, anything above that, like certain ingredients.
I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do soy milk. I couldn't do butter. I don't do that anyway, but I wanted to do a test drive to see what it makes me feel like now.
Butter.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't do any of that anyway. I wanted to do a test drive to see what would my body feel like if I incorporated those foods back again. And so I did a test drive. So I did the olive oil and it didn't do anything to me. Yeah. But I think it was because I was eating so much of just overloaded with just the protein part of it that I thought we need protein. We need that much protein.
Yeah.
And so now I'm able to put in more foods in my diet that I wasn't able to.
And because it's not being redlined and your body's processing the way it.
But I still don't.
I think it's optimized.
Right. I still don't mess with any type of soy or butter or anything like that. Yeah. But I needed to see how it would make me feel. It made me feel great.
Yeah. I just told you before we walked in here, I was like, dude, you're looking lean. Lean and mean. Yeah. And it's a good look for you.
I've been messaged too. I have not lost muscle. Everyone's been asking me, have you lost them? I'm like, no, I weigh the same. I'm just now, I don't know if this word would make sense. I don't feel so swollen.
Yeah.
in any part of my body. Like it's
bloated.
crazy. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel swollen.
What's the other term? Inflammatory.
Yeah, I
inflamed.
don't feel like, I feel so incredibly, my waist size went, you know, smaller. Everything about me small, but my muscle still is there. It's still the same. I still weigh the same.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all muscle if you still weigh the same. But
no, what I'm saying is I didn't lose tremendous amount of weight.
Yeah.
I weigh the same.
Yeah.
So people are asking me, how much weight did you lose? I didn't lose any weight.
You're just less inflamed. Less, I don't know the right terminology, but good for you. Well, anyway, it transitioned from the holiday blues to we're not buying any presents to your gastro problems.
Thanks, I appreciate that. But it's okay. It can go anywhere. This is our podcast.
Yes,
we
yes,
do.
it is.
We do as we, you know, as
we please,
as we please.
And to end this, we do have great news. You just ended your We3 coaching 9-week coaching challenge, and what amazing results these ladies have gone through. And you are now announcing We4.
Yep.
Coming up March 27th and 28th. And this is your opportunity. Again, there's a limited amount of people. When we don't try to use it as a sell pitch, we cut it off at exactly 10 individuals every time. And we are going to be opening that up.
It's going to be, we're heading for March, we said
27th and 28th.
27th and 28th. So we will keep you posted with more information. We are going to give a ton of content out there. If you're interested to learn more, obviously you can go to dothework.com to find out more information. But yes, our goal is 26th and 27th.
27th, 28th.
27th and 28th.
27th, 28th.
Yes.
And so if you want to know, go to dothework.com and just put your name in the subscriber list. So if you're a husband listening and you think your wife needs this, or if you're a woman just listening and you want fire, you want to feel good internally, externally, and you want to feel like you have a purpose, I don't think there's anything better than this, quite honestly, Carla. I've been a witness to all this, and it's just amazing the results that you're getting. We'll be putting out videos of individuals that just finished off this last challenge. And again, go to dothework.com. And as always, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, and listen to it on any podcast provider you choose. But send us or just put up a testimonial there for us if you like it or don't. Give us your comments, and we're good with it, right?
Yeah, we're good with whatever you feel.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Do the Work podcast, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.